All right, everybody, happy Friday. But you know what? More importantly, happy New Year. If you're like me, I've been waiting for 2022 since the beginning of 2021. So today, everybody, I have a very special guest, Annie Tyler of Norton Basu LLC. And as you guys know, I always like to cover a wide swath of topics. It's not just mortgages and boring stuff. I like to tackle some of the real world needs and services that my clients have needed throughout the 21 years that I've been doing mortgages. And then prior to that, being a financial advisor. So today, as I mentioned, we have Annie Tyler of Norton Basu, who is a great estate planning firm here in both Northern and Southern California. A couple of things that I did want to mention before I give you the mic, Annie, is that event that I went to. It was blatantly clear to me that Norton Basu is, and the folks there with Samita, are so down to earth and so about building relationships, which, of course, I can relate to. It just stood out. It wasn't starchy whatsoever. It wasn't one of these like, starchy law firms. Everybody was just very chill, very just human. And that focus on building relationships was huge. And I think, going now to the slogan, which is real people, real world advice, real solutions, is so appropriate for this company that I just had to beg you to please get on and let me interview you. So I will give you now the mic and tell us a little bit something about both you and also about Norton Basu and what makes you guys so different besides the things that I already mentioned.
Well, you are right, Ed. First of all, practicing law is really about helping people helping people, and lawyers are people too. And I know sometimes
That's a great
sometimes
t-shirt, by the way.
that's a great t-shirt. Some of the ones you may meet, you may not feel that they are, but you're right. Here at Norton Basu, Zakia and Samita, I met them a little over 4 years ago. And that is one of the things I noticed about them right away. And that's why I'm proud to be representing them now, is that they were different. They were not your average, like you said, kind of up in a high marble tower type of attorney. They're very accessible, very personable, and they are very compassionate and relate to their clients and referral partners. So that's the real world advice that you
Yeah.
mentioned. It's not just analytical and theoretical, but it's what would work in the real world. So thank you for joining us at our event, and we
Yeah, it
look
was fun.
forward to having more.
Oh, I'm going to more, especially the way you guys put them on. For sure.
Yeah, so we love people, our clients, our referral partners, and actually the community. Zaki and Samita do a lot of pro bono and volunteer work. They mentor other attorneys, they volunteer, and they're on boards for nonprofits and local community service agencies. So, they practice what they preach, and that's part of the reason I love working here.
Yeah. And they're definitely
Um,
standouts. I mean, I saw that they were featured in the Huffington Post and the Chicago Tribune and some other high profile publications as well. But tell me a little bit about what are the core values?
well, I'm glad you asked that. We aren't the typical law firm, and there are a few qualities that really set us apart, I think. One is that once you're our client, we don't charge to answer questions. And,
Mhm.
this is something that I've heard from many people over the years is, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that if I call or email my attorney, I'm getting charged hundreds of dollars an hour for a quick question. So that's one thing that makes us different. We also reach out every year with legal updates, let you know what may have changed, things to look out for, why you may want to update your estate plan if you have one, which you should, pretty much everyone should.
Yeah, agreed.
Also, when you do a trust with us, we help you fund the trust, including your bank accounts, your real estate properties, your business entity if you own one, all of the above. So you may already know that a living trust is kind of like an empty box, but if you don't put all your assets in the box, then it doesn't function properly at
Yeah,
death.
yeah,
So we help you put those assets in the box by titling them properly for you. Also, our process is streamlined. So we have an online, very tech forward intake system.
Hmm.
So unlike many law firms that are sort of stuck in the dark ages, they're
Oh yeah,
slowly
you mean
to
with the
adapt.
binder?
Yeah, with the old fashioned binder and all that, we do give you everything in a binder on paper, but the whole process getting there can be completely electronic. So that is something
Nice.
that people really appreciate. Yeah, meeting by phone, by Zoom, doing the intake online. That makes it easy to stop and start, and you can, work on it at 3 a.m. in your pajamas if you want to,
Right. Especially these days.
especially these days. And then additionally, for us, there really are no silly or dumb questions. That's what we're here for. A lot of people know just a little bit about estate planning. So throughout the process, the goal is for clients not to feel intimidated, but to ask the questions and share, their family dynamics, their financial picture, their dreams for their legacy, and be able to, get the proper guidance and advice.
I think that's so important because this process in whole estate planning can be very intimidating because people just don't really have not been taught. Think about it. How old were we when we found out that estate planning was a thing? Well, it certainly wasn't at 8 years old. This
Right.
stuff is not taught in schools. It's not talked about by families until way into the later years. So it can be very intimidating because it's a new concept for most people. So I love that you make it so easy and so you're such an open door. That open door policy is so huge for people because look, nobody wants to look like a fool. And
Right.
sometimes not wanting to look like a fool will mean that the people don't ask really important questions that can affect them in huge ways. I mean, I've had countless of situations where I went to refinance someone and they didn't realize that the spouse who had died didn't A, have an estate plan in place, and two, had them quit claim out of the house that they thought they were still on title. It's happened. And so it created potential disaster. So it's so important, everybody. I mean, here's the point: to be proactive instead of being reactive. Take some time. It's funny how we take more time to plan out, a birthday party than we
Or a
do,
vacation.
or a vacation, or even a concert, an outing, right? Than we do our own financial lives. And this is the point of this, is just to introduce you to some resources and to some topics that'll kind of make you go, right? Make you start to think of something, especially at the beginning of the year. There are things that maybe you need to start thinking about and implementing little by little. Don't let it intimidate you. Don't let it be this daunting Mount Everest. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. And I think the first thing that you should do is give Annie a call and talk it through. And how do you even just start? Maybe you just want to dip your toe to begin with, but at least start the conversation. So on that note, Annie, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, you can check out our website. There's a lot of information there, nortonbasu.com. You can also call us 408-850-7250, or you can email me, atyler@nortonbasu.com.
Well, there you go. Well, again, thank you so, so much for giving us this information and just giving people an outlet to be able to better plan for their financial future and the future of the folks. And unfortunately, we're all going to die. You want to leave your people in good standing so that way they don't just mourn you, but they don't mourn the loss maybe of a home and some other assets that puts them in an even worse situation than when you were around. So
Right.
that's the point. All right, everybody, have a great day and look out for my next video. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. Have a good one. Thank you again, Andy. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.